Today, I wanted to take the time to actually tell everyone how I make money in the music business. A lot of people ask me all the time, hey man, how do you make money? And like, how have you stayed afloat? And this industry's so hard. Like, what are the ways you're monetizing and making money? And da 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 da. So, without further ado, Gabriel will tell you guys how I'm making money in the music business. I've been doing this 8 years, been in New York 10 years, a decade, building my own business in the music realm. A lot of people make art and make music and make good music. But there's a big difference between being an artist and being in the music business. Again, there's a big difference between being an artist and being in the music business, And that's what a lot of the disconnect comes from these days, just because you need to be very business-minded in this space now because everyone's independent. So it's like there's a lot of things you need to, just be able to do to acquire the money and know how to collect it. There's so many different routes of income, and if you do not know where to go or don't have someone involved with you who's a music business person, it's going to take a long time to figure it out, and it's a big learning curve. So I totally get it. I hope that this video gives some insight and some guidance to somebody who's either, just an artist, a songwriter, producer, engineer, like any of the above, and how you can make money in music if you do the right things and build upon it. So without further ado, first thing I make money in music on is I have a recording studio in downtown Brooklyn. So I provide mixing and mastering, recording, and production services for clients and artists, ranging from labels to independents. And that's work I'm doing myself with them. A lot of custom production sessions, songwriting sessions with artists that really want to work on a specific genre or style. Over the years, I've amassed over 350 records produced by me that are all different genres and all different styles. Most of them are, very different from one another. So I kind of pride myself in the ability to work on most styles. Below that is I have producers and engineers that I trained how to engineer and record and get their clients and build their following and client base up. So those are engineers that are now working out of my space that I'm getting a bit off their bookings when they get bookings. I'm also running ads for them, getting them more bookings. Below that, I have basically splits on songs I've produced. So a lot of people don't understand that there's sound exchange, there's your distribution, so that could be DistroKid, CD Baby, etc. And then you also have pub, which is your pro. So you have 3 different ways, basically. And it's up to you to make sure that you're collecting your royalties, unless you have someone collecting them for you, like like a pub agency or like a manager or someone who's on top of that for you. A lot of people are just not getting a lot of this money, and tons of independent artists have never even registered their songs. Below that is offering educational courses and classes. I have pre-recorded ones, so that's a digital product that's just being bought, basically e-commerce, right? So when you get good at building up a funnel and a system, basically being able to lead people to a education source, give some free value, give some free game, and then kind of get them into the system of getting more, from you as far as like an educational provider. So that could be mentoring with them, one-on-one classes, courses. I'm also doing like things where I oversee people's Instagrams and kind of look over their link trees, look over their bio, look over everything they're doing and just see why they might not be getting the retention or fan base they want, or good looks or reach outs that they want. You know what I mean? There's lots to be worked on in that field, and that's more branding. I sell templates, FL Studio, presets for Pro Tools. So that could be like Young Thug presets. So like there's a lot of channels in that session that if you put your vocal on it would sound like Young Thug or give a reminiscence of that. So I do that, and I also have digital beats that you can just buy online, right? So those are all passive income, just like kind of moving constantly. I have a whole system for that, right? So that's another way of making money on music, right? A whole different way of making money on music, actually. And then we have the whole other bracket of actually doing like, workshops and like offering nonprofits curriculums. And that's something that I'm doing now, which is where I'm offering curriculums to universities, nonprofits, where we basically package together workshops and other things where we can teach the youth. But I actually give them hands-on experience with equipment at the same time. So that's more in-person educational, but on a higher level, more corporate. And those are very like high ticket items because, you know, the educational system has a lot of money and they're really looking for really cool things where it's like someone like me who's like comes from a very different background of schooling really appreciates student-centered education, which is beautiful. Production. So that's like a lot of times I'm selling exclusive beats to like more upper artists, and that's gonna get me more like $1,500 to $3,500, maybe $4,000 a beat, and that's a high ticket item as well. But that leads to a big back end, typically because they have a marketing machine behind them. So like getting on songs that have marketing machines behind them is gonna be your big ticket item, because if you get on those records, even if you don't get that much upfront advance, like let's say you get 1,000, you're still gonna eat a lot on the back because they have a team, right? Anyone you work with who has a team is gonna be a great situation back end wise and other ways of making money. All these things are just checks in different ways, right? So you got that, and then outside of that, I got membership, like sponsorships. So like plugin companies will send me stuff or like pay me to like talk about it. That's a whole nother thing, right? And then the last thing is like Instagram. I get paid off of Instagram because I do Instagram reels and like bonuses. So I've made, you know, it might be like 150, 200 every couple of weeks, depending on my reels and the views. So these are all different ways I make money off being a music business entrepreneur, a content creator, and an educator. And obviously, you know, a studio owner. So yeah, Mixed by Gabriel, tap in, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want any insight, any guidance, if you have any thoughts on this, or if you have anything to add. Subscribe to the channel. I love you all. I'm just trying to put forward some insight and some valuable education into the universe. And yeah, just build something cool where people can talk and help each other with resources. I love you all. I love the community I'm building, and I appreciate you.